Here is my raised bed garden now. Hi everybody, this is Shannon, and today I'm out here filming in my backyard. That is my little flower garden behind me that I just got all mulched and edged, and I'm here today to give you a garden update mainly on my vegetable garden. I'm going to be showing you an update today on the container gardens. You can see a lot of like little things flying around in the air right now. It's evening here in New York and we got a lot of little things out right now. But I'm going to be showing you an update on my the little window garden containers, to the little seedlings and things that we had planted, to the seeds that we had planted all the way up through, because it's been such a while since I've given you any update. And now I've got pretty much my whole garden already going in my raised bed garden. I'm going to take you and just show you what that's like up to date, and you're going to be seeing it when I first planted it and on through. So here we go. So here are my plants that I have been growing. Some of them I started in the window gardens boxes, like this box right here, and some of these little potted plants, and you might recognize those little potted plants. And some of them I started in these makeshift sort of trays. So we'll just start out by, first of all, this little cart right here is just a pallet that I made out of, just took a pallet, and then I had this board in the with wheels on it. See the wheels down there? It was in my barn, and I just screwed on a pallet onto it so I could wheel this around. And what I do is I bring these out every morning so they can be out in the full sunshine all day long. And then here, it's right on this patio next to my garage door. And so I just open up the garage door in the evening and wheel that pallet, the whole thing, back in, and then in the morning I wheel it back out. And the reason I do that is, number one, I'm getting a lot of plants and I can't fully fit them all in the windows, and also because this allows them to get full sunshine all day. I don't have any window in my house that will get absolutely full sunshine all day like the real outside will. And in my area, I can only do this kind of thing with starting around probably end of April or May, when the temperatures, are at least in the upper 40s and stuff like that during the day. So I'll just show you. This is my original tomato plants that I did in the beginning of April. They're looking pretty sad. And part of that is because I had them out here on this cart a couple days when it was maybe a little too cold for them, a little too windy, and they got, a bunch of them got lost that day, and these lost some leaves, and they're just looking a little spindly. This is some basil. These are these are the 4 tomato plants you saw in my garden haul that I actually just picked up at the store because these tomatoes were not doing the best. And over here, I pulled those cucumbers out. I'm going to plant more. And these are some green peppers that I planted from seed. Here are these little tiny guys here are some jalapeno peppers I planted from seed, some cucumbers planted from seed, some green peppers planted from seed, and some cherry tomato plants planted from seed. And over here we have parsley, and another parsley, and another basil, and my dill. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a couple more that I have put on a table in my backyard. And here we are back here. We've got some broccoli plants. You can see the little broccoli plants growing up. And these are also broccoli that are planted from seed. Cauliflower planted from seed. This is some lettuce that I planted from seed. Lettuce can be directly sown in the ground, so I don't really know why I did that, unless I just thought that I would start extra early and get some a little bit early. And then this is kale, and that also can be put in the ground. And I also had over there, those pots are peas, but I already transferred most of those into my garden. And I'm going to take you to the garden now and just show you what I've got growing so far over there. And then I'll show you once it's getting bigger. So this is one of my raised garden beds, and it's one that we have planted those plants I did in my garden haul. I got broccoli, 2 rows of broccoli here, and 2 rows of cauliflower. That one row of cauliflower looks pretty tiny. That's the one I got from the Amish, and they were smaller plants. And right now I have this little makeshift fence around here because I didn't want any little critters to come in and eat my new plants, but my husband's actually, for the first year, finally we're going to put a fence around this whole garden, because every year I've had issues with animals and stuff, and we've tried so many things. There's my ducks down there, you can see them all. So right down that little slope is our creek, and that's so cute. They're all waddling in a row for the camera, I guess. Sorry, I just couldn't resist capturing that. This is their little, that's their little duck house right there. So anyways, so this is one of my garden beds. And here is another of the raised beds that I have fenced off a little bit. And you can see right now all it looks like is growing is a few of those cabbages I planted. And then here are some little tiny broccoli and cauliflower plants that you can see intermixed that I planted from seed that are coming up. And here is another identical bed to the one I just showed you. It's got some cabbages over there. It's got a couple weeds. And if you can see, some pea plants. All these right here that I'm showing you are pea plants. They're all starting to come up on each side of the fence, because what they're going to do is just, if you've never grown peas, they like to get big and tall and climb something. This is a row of onions. You can see the green onions poking up out of it. And then you have to get really down low to see the tiny baby. This is mesclun lettuce. And then I've got a row of romaine lettuce. Everything's so tiny now. And some iceberg lettuce. And the last row that hasn't even come up yet is kale. And then over here, hasn't come up yet, but I did plant some beets and some carrots over there. So here is my raised bed garden now. It is beginning of June, and this is one of my raised beds. It doesn't look like a raised bed, but it's basically mounded dirt that we put black plastic on, and we have like a little edging strip over there. The grass is brown right next to it because I did use some Roundup on it. And my husband put in this really nice fence. Here's one of the fence posts, and it's like this little wire fence all around it. I think it's a 4-foot tall fence. You can see there's a gate over there, and this is a gate right here that we're going to go in. I've been working in my garden a lot, so if my hands have a little bit of garden lookingness to them, I apologize for that. And here is, that's the back of my house, and here's our garden fence. He's trying to repair one of these with the clamp, these garden beds, by the way. So here we've got parsley over there, and this is some cilantro we've got coming up, some basil, and a bigger basil plant, a bigger dill plant that I already planted a long time ago with some dill. You can see I have some weeds growing that I need to get out. That's a little thing of oregano right there. And then these are my beets. You can see some cluster of beets right there. There's some little tiny baby beets coming up. And I love beets so much. And there's 2 rows of carrots that have come up right here. A big row of onions. And this is a row of mesclun mixed salad that doesn't look like it's come up too well. I just planted some more seeds so that I could fill that in better. I'm not sure why it didn't come up too well. We did have a cold spell. And then again, I planted more seeds here. And this row was supposed to be romaine. Only a little bit of that has come up. This row is iceberg lettuce. I have some bigger iceberg lettuce that's growing because I had started that indoors. And then there's some back there that's smaller that I started from seed. And then this is a row of kale. Over here I've got, hello Mrs. Duck. Over here I've got mainly green bean plants. They're the bush variety, not the growing vine kind. Not the pole beans, I mean. These, some of them came out really well, and some of them are like these little things that I don't know if like some bugs are eating them. But they're kind of missing. They don't have their leaves, and I don't know if it's because they got eaten or if they're somehow malnourished. I've been trying to fertilize them. And back there I planted some tomatoes a few weeks ago. They're doing really well. I can't get over how well they're doing, so they must really love the soil back here. And in between each of those tomato plants I put some broccoli plants that I had started from seed, and I just had nowhere else to put them because you'll see the other broccoli I've planted is got just full in that area. Then I bought a few plants, Brussels sprout plants. These are Brussels sprout plants. My family loves Brussels sprouts, so, and if you're wondering how I cook them to make everybody love them or whatever, I guess we love vegetables in general, but I cut them into quarters, and then I just saute them in a pan with some olive oil and salt and pepper, and everybody loves them just sauteed like that. So here are pepper plants. There's some weeds in here I got to get out, but I've got some larger ones. Most of these are just green bell peppers. I have a few jalapenos up here. These little ones I think are jalapenos. Then back there I've got a few more tomato plants, and I'm not sure. I think these are either Romas or another one of the larger tomatoes. And then there's a couple of broccoli plants that I had to put in there because I didn't know where else to put them. And then here is my broccoli. That's just going to town growing. There's no broccoli heads yet. It's just the plants. So I would say in a few weeks or so we'll probably be seeing the actual florets coming up. And these 2 rows right here, the 2 rows right there and there are actually cauliflower. So I've got basically 2 big full rows of broccoli and then 2 big full rows of cauliflower. And I'm actually happy, and if you can see, there's a few little ones in there that probably aren't going to get enough sun, but I'm actually happy I have some little ones and these big ones because I don't really want to get them all at once anyways. And let's see, before I go to that bed, I'll go over here. This is one of my other beds, and this one we have a little fencing up because it's meant for the peas and cucumbers to climb. So here we have some broccoli and cauliflower little plants. And then in the middle we've got some cucumbers. Those aren't looking so good. I don't know why some of the leaves turn white. I don't know if the soil is just not right. I haven't really tested my soil, so I don't know if it's like maybe too acidic. But some of them look healthier. Like this one looks really, really healthy. And some of these look not so healthy, so I don't know. And then my pea plants are starting to climb. They're starting to get nice. These are the smaller ones. My other bed has better peas. This one, a lot of the pea plants didn't really come up too well. And then here's 4 head of cabbage, green cabbage, and some more peas and more cucumbers. And then here's my nice, really nice, healthy looking pea plants. They're starting to really climb. And we have a few more small cucumber plants starting out. And definitely some weeds and a couple more broccoli. More cabbage and cabbage. And then between those I have 2 larger cucumber plants that are getting going. And of course the peas on this side. And then here I've got some cantaloupe planted. So basically the back row of this, I've got 1, 2, 3 cherry tomato. Actually, each one of these wooden tomato cages that we built have 2 tomato plants per each of the cages. So there's 2 cherry tomato plants in this one, 2 in this one, and 2 in that one. And then the other 3 have all larger tomato plants. So I can show you that's the Parks Whopper improved. It's a big variety. And I believe some of them are Roma tomatoes. So those are the size. I know we have at least that plant right there has some flowers and actual little tomatoes on it, green ones. And so all along there we have the tomatoes, and then all along the front I'm growing things that sprawl and need a lot of sprawl room, okay? So you might see all this black plastic and think it's wasted, but these cantaloupe plants are going to grow the vine, and they're going to sprawl all the way across and all the way across there, and I'll have to give you an update later in the summer. Then these are another mound of cantaloupe plants. I might have to thin this out because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll probably thin it to like 3 plants. But see, the vines can come out this way and go that way. It's a little messy around here too. I see a lot of popsicle sticks because I was using those to mark. And also like a little toy over there. But anyways, the vines can sprawl all the way out. And then this is my zucchini mound. So right now I've got 3 or 4 zucchini plants. I'll probably have to get that down to 3 at the most. Those get really humongous. And this is a honeydew. No, this is a watermelon mound. Those will also grow really long vines, so they need a lot of room to grow. And then this is a honeydew melon. Now, my dad was saying he doesn't think we can grow honeydew in this area. I'm in upstate New York, and I didn't know that. And I love honeydew melons, so I tried to do it, but we'll see if it works. You can comment if you know about that. And then here's 2 pumpkin. These are supposed to be really big pumpkins that these produce. So they're going to be, again, long vines, take up a lot of room. So that is my garden in a nutshell. And this is the first year, again, that I've had a fence. And every year, see how close it is to the woods back there? Every year we end up getting eaten by deer and different critters. So I'm really hoping that this year is going to be. And this is the view. I just want you to see. I love looking out. There's a field across there in the woods. And that little path there leads down to our creek. So I love gardening. It is my happy place. I love that tree right there is when it's in bloom. It's so pretty. It's like some sort of crabapple tree. And there is our chicken house / garden shed. Half of it's for the chickens and half of it's our garden shed, and the chicken's coop right next to it. So anyway, I'm in my happy zone when I'm out here gardening, and I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy gardening if that's your thing. And I will have to post updates as things progress in this garden. Thanks so much, and we will see you soon.